Not every idea is ready to become a finished product the moment it appears. Some ideas are seeds, right? A seed could be a title, a melody, a sample chop, a video concept, a clothing design, a lyric, a feeling, a visual, or a world, even, right? But if you demand the fruit too early, you can distort the idea before you understand what it actually wants to become. The goal is not to abandon the seed, the goal is to protect it, name it, return to it, and let it grow honestly, right? You can kill an idea by demanding fruit before it even becomes a plant. I think creators sometimes disrespect ideas because they don't look finished yet, right? A title shows up, a melody shows up, a shamble chop shows up, a clothing idea shows up, a shoe idea, just something shows up, right? And because it is not fully formed, we tend to think of it as weak. But a seed is not supposed to look like the final tree. A seed can be one title, one melody, one phrase, one chop, one emotion, one visual, a loop of a beat that we made, a concept, one line that keeps returning to us, one feeling that you do not fully understand yet. The first version of an idea is not the verdict. It is the first sign of life. We stuttering today. It's an important lesson, man. When you force an idea too early, you might write lyrics that do not match the real emotion yet, overproduce the beat before the sample breathes, turn a video idea into a fake lecture, overproduce that concept you had for this clothing design, rush a hook before the melody reveals itself. You may mess up an idea you have for this building you want to create. You may force a record that you're creating to become important before it even can be considered good. Make something look finished while it feels emotionally empty. Forcing the seed can allow the work to look bigger, appear bigger, while making it feel less alive at the same time. Pressure can create output, but it can also remove honesty. A forced idea can sound complete and still feel dead. Sometimes the creative act is not finishing the idea. Sometimes the creative act is protecting it well enough to return to it. Protection can look like a few things: naming the file and closing out of it, saving the loop, bouncing the first version of a song or idea you created, writing one sentence about how you feel about said idea, making it, saving it for other projects and things that may be returned to in the future, sending other things to other collaborators to work on, not overworking it to death or in the initial idea phase. Letting the idea breathe. A lot of us tend to forget to let the ideas we have just breathe and simmer. And then most importantly, knowing what it needs next instead of forcing the whole answer now. A protected seed can grow. A forced seed gets performed before it is understood. Some ideas do not need pressure, they need a clean place to live. These sample chops I've been sitting on for about 4 days now. I'm gonna probably chop some more up tonight. These chops already sounded expensive. They already sound like they could be a part of this project, another projects, so many ideas. I have so many ideas in my mind, bro. This does not mean I need to finish the whole record right now. That is quite literally the opposite of what I'm doing. I'm literally sitting on it, whether intentionally or unintentionally. But it means I need to protect the feeling and let the beat become what it wants to become, which is why I'm giving myself so much time to take a break and come back to it later. When the chop already has the soul, my job is not to smother it. My job is to give it room. Have you ever, as a producer, ever had an idea that you worked on and then you just kept feeling the urge to add more, add more, add more, add more, add this, and then you don't even recognize the initial idea you had for it anymore? It's so overproduced. But then when you remove some of the aspects, you see, this is what I need, right? We need to take a Rick Rubin approach to it, like Yeezus. Another example is a song I'm recording, right? It's a semi-emotional song. It has two possible energies in one record. You know, that does not mean I need to force the decisions too early. I need to let the song reveal which name carries the wound or idea I have for it better. Some songs tell you the real name after you live with them. Sometimes give you the name immediately, right? I have another song, right? I want to bring it to life. It stems on this phone right here as a voice note that I have, right? But that doesn't mean I need to force it into its final form immediately. First, I need to understand the world, the energy, the tempo, the hook, and the feeling before I even try to bring it to real life and evolve it to the form that I envision in my head as best as I can. This Project Angel is the same exact way. I'm really, really, really purging for strong, cohesive records, better hooks, better lyrics, better melodies than my previous projects. But that does not mean I will allow myself to force every single cohesive or idea in general into Angel. Some seeds are could be Angels. Some seeds could be the singles run that I'm going to go on. Some singles could be future projects that I'm working on, future seeds. Some could be just me practicing and training just like a sport. Not every seed belongs in the same garden. I need you guys to remember that. The projects you create and curate need discernment, not desperation. We need to operate from a place of peace, solitude, and discernment, not desperation, because desperation causes us to make lackluster records and lackluster visuals. Now, I'm not using patience as an excuse to never finish. That's the other extreme. That's very important. There is a difference between protecting the seed and avoiding the work because you are scared of what people may think of it. Protecting says, I am preserving the idea so I can build it better when I have the opportunity and capacity to. It says, I know what this needs next. It says, I'm giving it time without abandoning it. I'm returning with care. Avoidance says, on the other hand, I'm scared to find out if this idea is real or can be successful to other people, which is, first off, why are you caring about the opinions of other people? You know what I'm saying? The audience will come regardless, right? Avoidance also says I don't want to do the work. Avoidance says I keep calling it patience, but I never truly return to it. Avoidance says I allow the seeds to disappear. Patience is not avoidance when there is still care, attention, and return to it. If I never return to the seed, I did not protect it. Otherwise, I abandoned it. So you may ask, Mod, how do you handle a seed? Now, we may have our own different unique methods, but I can give you what I do. Here's what I do. When I have an idea that appears, right, I record it as fast as possible, get it out of my system as fast as possible. I name it, I save it. I may save it in this journal. I may save it in my voice, my memo. I may save it in my Pro Tools or FL Studio or whatever I'm using to save ideas. I may make a mood board to keep the vision right? Save it. Write the feelings that you gain from this idea. What do you want it to become? Describe it visually, as visually close to it as you possibly can. Describe it. Decide the next small, keyword, small move. Small move. Maybe that's working on a few lines, a hook. Maybe that's working on the beginnings of the piece that you're creating for your fashion brand. Maybe that's beginning the seeds or ideas or scripts for the future video or film you want to create, etc., etc. Park it and come back to it if needed. Don't try and rush the whole idea because you got it initially right then and there. Park it and come back to it if needed, because 9 times out of 10 the version that comes back to it will have the discernment and strength to come back in a much stronger mindset and a much better space mentally to be able to complete the idea in the proper manner, and most importantly, return when the energy is right, which is a continuation of what I just said. Return when you feel that you need to get this done, when it feels right. Some examples, like I said, I have a couple songs I'm working on, a couple beats I'm working on. I'm just trying to really figure out where I want to take them, how I want to take them. I have hooks, I have ideas, but I'm still just working and slowly building it out. I'm not rushing, I'm not moving from a place of desperation. And I want you to do the same with your ideas, right? The seed doesn't need to have a final form today. It just needs a clean place to live. The seed with a name is easier to return to than the spark left floating, right? So I'm learning to stop forcing every idea to become a monument this day it shows up. Some ideas need a first pass, some ideas need a second listen, some may need a producer, some need a walk, some need time. Some need one more lived experience before they can become honest. And that's okay. We need to be okay with being patient. And we need to be okay with working fast. If the idea, you have everything for it, get it done. But if it takes time, let it take time. The goal is not to rush the seed into a fake tree. The goal is to protect the life inside it as long as you possibly can for it to grow honestly, right? I want you to end, as I end this video off, I want you to respect the seed. Not everything needs to become the monument that you want it to today. Right? I love y'all. Peace out.